Okay. Hey guys, happy Monday. Louis here, and today's discussion is going to be about procrastination and 4 reasons why we all fall victim to procrastination. So let's get into it. Hey guys, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you for joining us for week number 3 of our questions and discussion session on our Instagram story. For those of you that are joining for the first time, you can check out our previous sessions in our highlight section in the bio of the page. But otherwise, the discussion post of the day is this one here. And it pretty much talks about the 4 reasons why you procrastinate. Or should I just pluralize it and say we procrastinate, because it's something that we're all guilty of from time to time. From my perspective, number 1 talks about, looking like a fool, or the fear of being scared of looking like a fool if you fail. What can I say? It's pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes we get overly critical of our actions when it comes down to business or any kind of progressive endeavors we undertake. If you're looking to start something new, there's always the fear of what someone else would think. But ultimately, that's exactly what slows the momentum that you've built. And that also takes away your focus from actually paying attention to the areas that you can improve. But the best way to overpower this fear is to continue doing that thing and essentially just gaining your muscle memory, perfecting how it is, or essentially just getting used to being comfortable in your own skin. And that in itself is what people will also appreciate, because they recognize your consistency, and you will also gain the confidence necessary to try that new thing and to continue trying new things without having to worry about people's opinions. Because ultimately speaking, they don't pay your bills, man. You got to do what you got to do. So keep going. Number 2 is a spin-off of number 1. It talks about letting people discourage you. And it really comes down to taking the opinions of others and pedestalizing them, and especially the negative ones. I mean, I'm all for positive feedback and constructive criticism and solutions if there's a certain problem that I have not necessarily identified myself. If you were to bring it up to me, hey, I'm all game. I'm more than happy to put that into action. But at the very beginning, when you're first starting off, it sometimes gets tough when you're only focusing on the negatives. It kind of lets you second guess your overall capacity to make a decision yourself. So you want to make sure that, again, you're tunnel visioning your energies on your own gut feeling, your own convictions, and make sure that you're actually good at what it is that you are doing. And if you put all those combinations of things together, the opinions of others won't discourage you, even if they're negative. Matter of fact, you will be able to flip those into positives. So that'll be a win-win for both you and the onlooker, the critic, so to speak. It just gives you an opportunity to take those signals and just build off from them one by one. All right, so number 3 is kind of a big one, and it's just a reminder, but it's change. We fear change, and a cliche alert coming up here: change is the only constant. We've heard this plenty of times, and it's true, because, well, you can think of the time that you first started crawling. I'm pretty sure you don't remember that, because right now you're walking, you're engaging with me on this session, and it's change that brought you to this point. So just in every single aspect of life, change is something that you're going to consistently encounter. So it's something that practice will perfect and give you the confidence to continue to embrace that change instead of fearing it. And that is something that we need to keep working on as a collective. And I'm sure there's the things that we can accomplish if we were to get over that are endless, or limitless, so to speak. So that's number 3. The 4th reason for procrastinating: you're tired. Exhaustion. It's something we're all guilty of. It's something that is inevitable if you are living. You work, we do things. Every single day has its own set of commitments, and it really drains us of our energy. And that could be essentially piled up in our excuse column, and you don't want to necessarily have that as a thing. So make sure that you rest adequately. You want to make sure that you're prioritizing your time. It comes down to organization, and set expectations for yourself that are realistic, so that you don't find yourself setting yourself up for a failure down the road, and more so in the sense of procrastination. Just making sure that you're also on top of your overall schedule. That whole topic in itself is something that you would have to figure out. So exhaustion is something you have to give yourself time to recover from. All right, so to cap things off real quick, do not be afraid to fail. Continue trying new things no matter what anybody says, because you're not a fool. You're actually trying something new, and that's a cool thing. It's not a negative. You are crushing it. You are actually a person who is taking initiative, and that's not something to be ashamed of in any capacity, which also builds off on the whole topic of not letting people discourage you. Forget what people think. Just do your thing, because at the end of the day, they don't pay your bills. Their opinions are just, yes, spark notes at the end of the day. They're footnotes. Just take them as signals, adjust accordingly, but don't hold them as the be all and end all of your entire existence, because that is a recipe for disaster. Topic of change, you want to make sure that you're embracing change. It's a constant. You can't do anything about it. You can't control it. You might as well adapt or die, quite literally, right? So to keep things fresh, embrace change, stay open-minded, make sure that you're trying new things and also challenging yourself in ways that you haven't before, just to keep yourself, so you don't go stale, because that's boring. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're for the notion that you're trying to figure out a way to make it worth your while to try something new. Keep trying things, adapt, pivot, and prosper. That's pretty much all I'll say for that. On the topic of exhaustion, you want to make sure that you sleep and rest adequately, recover where necessary, and don't overburden yourself with a to-do list that is impossible. Take 2 things a day to conquer and check off your list, and you're pretty much on your way to success if you do that. And before I go, I'll be responding to your questions and your inquiries tomorrow. So I look forward to them, and we'll actually meet tomorrow. But all in all, the discussion session will be next week. So catch you next time. Peace.